Hi
everyone.
It's Tara
And Coop.
You guys know Coop, and most of you know me as well. I just wanted to give a little bit of guidance about this lovely shading exercise that we've all had this week. You guys, excuse us, we have some technical difficulties. One thing you might not know about me is that I'm actually a classically trained artist. I went to something called an atelier, which is just a fancy word for an art studio. And they've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And in an atelier, you learn to draw in the same way that the great artists like Michelangelo and John Singer Sargent learned. So that's how I've learned to draw. And Mrs. Faulkner has kindly let me go ahead and do this little video to you guys to let you know a little bit about shading using charcoal. Right, Coops?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing that you need is a bit of toned paper. So something that's a bit tan. And if you don't have any brown paper, you can use any color as long as it's not black. Or you can use, I have one somewhere. Oh, where did I put it? I don't know where it is, but brown wrapping paper works just as well. Or if you have an old brown paper bag, you can rip that up and just lay it flat and use that. The other things that you'll need is some charcoal. You might have some charcoal. If you don't have charcoal, you can use chalk, use a color. The other chalk that you'll need will be white for your highlights and your lightest value, but we'll get to that.
And also you need a dirty old towel.
A dirty old towel. These are called chamois cloths. They're just little bits of leather. They smell quite nice, I think.
Yeah. Smell.
But a lot of people don't have these at home, so you can just use like a little
dirty old towel,
like a dry, dirty old towel, because it's going to get quite dirty.
These are technically dirty old towels.
They are just something soft. You can maybe use a bit of paper towel if you wanted.
Coffee sticks.
Well, coffee sticks help us get our angles if we're doing something straight, but we're not going to do anything straight.
Wait, could I?
You're going to show them? Yeah, show the angle trick. So if he was drawing this angle, he'd hold it up in front of him.
It's about a right angle.
And then he'd just put that down on his paper, and he'd have the right angle, which will help you if you're drawing 3D shapes, because we've been doing a lot of 3D shapes this week as well, haven't we? With Mrs. Faulkner's work. But we're going to try and keep it really simple. We're going to start with the first exercise we learn and do an atelier. Yeah. Which is a sphere.
And also you need a crayon. It's not a crayon.
It's not a crayon.
Not a crayon, but it looks like a crayon.
It's called a stump. And all a stump is a little tiny rolled up bit of paper. You might not have a stump at your house, so what you do, you just get a little piece of scrap paper and you roll it up. So it's got a point on one end, so you're making, do you remember this 3D shape?
Wait. A cone.
A cone. Good job, mate. So you're just making like a little cone. So it's just going to be a little pointed bit of paper because that's going to help you blend your charcoal or your chalk. Another thing that's also useful
is a paintbrush.
An old paintbrush helps too. Just to remove a bit. An old dirty paintbrush.
Well, it doesn't have to be dirty.
It doesn't. No, it's probably better if it's a bit clean.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we've done is that we have set up...
Dirty old towel.
Dirty old towel. We've set up our sphere. So you might be able to find any kind of sphere in your house. If it's white, it's going to be easier for you to see something called the shadow lines.
So, do you want to see all of them?
Yeah. Show them.
So, sphere.
So, our sphere is a toy golf ball. It's quite big. And we've just taken Cooper's bedside table light.
It's pretty long.
It's all right, isn't it? So we've taken Cooper's bedside table light so that we can see this lovely shadow line.
Yeah.
Do you see here?
And we're going to use
So this is your shadow line on your sphere. If you look down at the bottom, you can see there's something called reflected light because this table is a light color. So it's reflecting this light here and it's bouncing up here. But if you squint your eyes, close one eye.
It's no white spot.
Can you not see it?
No. You can only see top.
Okay, anyway, I hope that's better. If
Wait,
you
let me
look
look.
here, is that better?
Wait.
You can see,
Yeah, that's better.
okay, so you've got your shadow line here. So this is quite dark. This is a lighter tone. And then you've got your highlight here. Coop.
Right there.
Da-da-da. Yep, that's it. So you've got your highlight. And then down here you have that lovely reflected light off the table. And then if you squint and close one eye and look really closely, and you'll see artists do that, and that's just because it simplifies the colors. So it shows you the lightest light and the darkest dark. And your darkest dark is always going to be this bit here of shadow, because the light's coming this way, and so there's no light bouncing anywhere here. And this is called your cast shadow, right? So we're going to try and make a circle look 3D using shading. So the first thing,
draw a circle.
well, the first thing we're going to do, if you might have a compass, or you might just have something round, and we're going to draw a circle first. Can you hold it, Coop? Just give it a hold. Don't shake it. And we're just going to draw this circle. Just trace around with any old pencil.
I was just showing
Sorry about...
I was just showing them that and that to replicate it.
Okay. So we've got our circles. And we've got our object. And so like I said, we're going to do a pirate squint. Right, Coops?
Yeah.
So if you're looking at your object, and it can
Can't
be
really see my
a
but I
sphere.
am squinting.
It could be a person when you feel like drawing a person. And what you do to simplify your light and shadow is you close one eye like a pirate and you squint real down. And you look weird.
Yeah.
But it does help you see.
It looks like both of your eyes are closed, but one is.
But it helps you just see
That one is.
the light in the dark. So the first thing we're going to do, let me just make sure we can see this.
Yep.
Okay.
Spinning.
So we're going to do our values.
And don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Do
So
all
your
of that right now.
values, you've got
Yeah,
your
you can worry
darkest
about
dark, right?
Yeah.
And so your darkest dark, we just talked about that. The darkest dark is always going to be your cast shadow
Yeah.
because there's no light hitting it. And then you've got a lighter tone, and you can just sort of smear this around. Or you can use your stump,
Yeah.
and you could actually bring a little bit of that darker one over.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But it just becomes lighter a bit.
So this is
And
called...
then there's a normal, and then there's a
Yeah.
really light one. But we will get to the really light one soon.
We will.
Then-
So this one here is one of your midtones. This is your darker midtone. And then because we're using toned paper, we can just use this. The work's already done for us. So that's your lighter midtone. And then with your lighter, with your chalk, you smear that around a little bit.
Or maybe a chalk pencil.
Yeah, you can use a chalk pencil if you've got it. That's really good for your highlights though, isn't
You
it?
can see it, but we can't really. But you can.
So this is your darkest midtone, your lighter midtone. This is your area of light. And then if you press really hard, you've got a very bright white,
I can see it.
which shows you your highlight.
Oh.
So if we're looking at this is that highlight, right?
Yeah.
This is the lighter tone.
Yes.
This is your
Lighter
darker
tone.
tone, maybe the color of your paper, and then getting darker into that darker midtone this way. This cast shadow here is your darkest color.
Yeah.
And then this lovely shadow line, which is a really soft
Then
line.
go the way to that, and then go back.
Yep, so this is going to be that dark midtone as well. So I have a little example that I did yesterday that might be able to help illustrate this. Hang on. So this is what you end up with in the end.
Don't worry about that, people.
I hope it's focusing a bit.
People on.
So as you can see, you've got that light charcoal color. You've got your highlight. The first thing to do when you're drawing this is find this shadow line. Find this shadow line and then either use your stump or a little piece of paper towel or your brush, and make sure it's nice and soft. You can go ahead and rub it a little bit to make sure that's a nice soft line, because if we look back at our ball, it's not a hard line, is it? It's a really soft line when we squint. And then you've got that really dark cast shadow as well.
So right now we're going to do ink wash.
So it looks like the ink wash on the sheet.
So I'll show you.
So Cooper, would you like to demonstrate?
So
Cooper's going to demonstrate.
I'm pretty good with an ink wash. My link out.
But we're not doing ink, we're doing charcoal, right? So the first thing Cooper's going to do is find this lovely curved line. So he's going to find that curved line.
I think it's about there.
Yeah, have you looked at the...
Yeah, it's about there.
Okay, and then he's just going to give it a shade in.
So if I go too black, I'm going to use this to make it a bit lighter.
To soften it up, yeah?
Or I may use this.
His stump.
Yeah, to give a...
which is your cone.
Yeah.
So he's just going to, see, it just smears it around. And it's also a really good way to make that line soft.
The lighter. That's lighter.
And so he's using his stump to pull a little bit of that charcoal over to get us this nice value.
Yeah, I'm looking at the values and then looking back.
Yep. Always make sure that you observe what you're drawing. So take a moment every now and then and have a little look with your squint. So Cooper's giving it the big artist squint there. And he's just checking that shadow line. And he's doing it quite dark, so he's getting lots of that chalk and charcoal off his paper. And the other thing about having a cloth is that you can just tidy up the edges as you go. So you can use your charcoal or your chalk to build up. If you look, Cooper's done a lovely job with smearing using the stump.
I'm going to smear a bit more with there.
Using his stump and his cloth just to take a little bit of that chalk or charcoal off. And he's kept that shadow line really nicely.
Yeah, I'm trying to take a bit of shadow off. Since we don't want it to be too dark.
No.
If it's too dark, it's like that and it won't look real.
No. It'll look flat.
It'll look flat.
That's right. And we want to remember that the darkest point is here.
And also...
And then it gets... This is quite dark. And then it goes to that... That's okay.
My chalk dropped.
And you can... Another thing you can see is that we follow the contour. Now this is in that sheet as well. So on here, using the contour hatching, if you see, you go ahead and you follow the curve of the object.
Yeah. And also I'm going to make it a bit lighter.
So he's just taking a little bit off.
A bit more dabbing.
A little dabbing.
Well, not like the emotion Fortnite dabbing. No.
But dabbing a little bit of charcoal and chalk off.
I think I should make this one a bit more darker.
So as we observe our thing, it goes
3D?
darker here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then this is a bit lighter. This is a bit lighter again. And then you've got that highlight, which is the lightest of all. And if you squint, you can see that this shadow, the edge of this shadow, is a really soft line. And it's about the same value as this curve here.
I'm going to do something else. Instead of doing
here, why don't we do a... So we're going to use the color of the paper.
That one's the lighter.
So Cooper's having a look at where the highlight is.
Yeah, it's about like there.
Yep.
I'm checking the values. I think it needs to be a bit more. Oh, again, dab it. Oops.
And another thing, if any of you guys would like to try with charcoal, just let us know. Ask Mrs. Faulkner and she can let me know, and I'd be happy to drop some charcoal. I've got tons of charcoal because I learned how to make it myself. So I make batches of charcoal as well. If anyone wanted to have a go with that or with some brown paper, that would be really cool too. So here, so Cooper's used his different values.
Wait, I think that needs to be a bit more lighter here.
Now if we have a bit of a smear on this edge, or you can use this and have a bit of a...
Or you can use your...
Or use your stump.
It can't balance. I was trying that.
So you just work it and work it and work it and layer up and layer up.
I think I need to erase since it looks... No, that's good. That's good. Right.
So he's got his different tones. He's just got to make his transitions here from the dark to the light a bit softer.
Yeah, I need to make that a bit softer. This may take me a long time to dab.
That's okay. See, and then he's also picking up where a little bit of that reflected light off the tablecloth is coming. So yeah, always compare. And the thing is, this is a really good exercise because values are key to everything when you're painting and drawing. And a value is how light or how dark something is. So you can have different values with color as well. So you end up having a very dark blue, that's a darker value, to a very light blue, which is a lighter value. So like an ultramarine is much darker than a cobalt.
But that you may see a picture of me.
I know, and that is Putin, but he's with a cat, so it's fine. And so it helps you do something called turning, which is what's going to make your piece look 3D. And so this is just the first stepping stone everyone learns when you're drawing.
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea of what is possible, this is something that my teacher, Teresa Oaxaca, made. And so you can see...
Sounds like a Japanese name.
No, it's Mexican. So you've got that darkest dark, and you've got soft edges. This is a lovely soft edge, so you get the turning of the cheek. You've got the highlight on her cheekbone, and then you've got the lines. It's a very simple drawing, but if you look at what you've done today, and then look at this, you can see it's just using the exact same techniques.
The shadow goes on forward a bit.
Yeah, it does. That's really well observed, Cooper. Well done. Yeah, it is.
I think that's good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So this just gives you an idea what you can do if you keep practicing.
So you want
let's look at Cooper's
finished result.
Cooper's finished results.
It's pretty good.
It's very good. Soft. And there you go. And
don't worry about the green bits there. That's just what I draw.
Just a bit of pen.
Yeah, it's just a bit of pen.
So anyway, enjoy that. Let us know if you need any help or need any supplies or anything. We'd be happy to help. We have a studio full of things. I hope you're all doing really well. Sending lots of love to everyone. We hope to see you soon, right?
And also, but also, do you want to see how much chalk my mum has?
Oh, God. So, yes, if anyone needs anything, just let me know. Okay. Bye, year 3.
Bye.
We miss